Hi there, everyone. This is Dick Enroth reporting the first game of the Professional Basketball World Series between the Syracuse Nationals, Mike, and jumping against rookie Jim Neal. The Nationals opened with Neal at the pivot, Wally Osterkorn from Illinois, and Paul Seymour from Toledo at the forwards, Bill Kenbo from St. Bonaventure, and George King and Morris Harvey at the guards. The Lakers start with Mikan at the pivot, Jim Pollard of Stanford, and Vern Mickelson of Hamlin on the front line, Slater Martin from Texas, and Whitey Scoot from Minnesota in the backcourt. The Nationals draw first blood as George King follows up his own shot with an easy layup. Well, the Lakers come right back with big Vern Mickelson being pushed by Wally Osterkorn while in the act of shooting. Mick hit on both free throws, and the game is tied 2-2. Al Servey, the fiery coach of Syracuse, has his injury-riddled ball players keyed up for this all-important money series. Close to $2,000 per man rides in the outcome of this best 4 out of 7 games. Let's watch Bill Kenbo, wearing number 15, drive in for a shot. The whistle blows, and there's a foul called on Mickelson of the Lakers. Kenbo got a free throw, but missed. The Nationals intercepted a Laker pass, and they stormed back down the court. Now let's watch as they move the ball around until big Jim Neal gets position on Mikan. Captain Paul Seymour lobs a pass over the head of Laker Whitey Scoot to Neal, who swings his right for the basket. Syracuse. The ball is picked up by Whitey Scoot from Brainerd, Minnesota. Whitey dribbles down the length of the court before passing to Mickelson. The 6'7" star from Hamlin University fakes an overhead shot, then passes back to Scoot. Notice how the champions move the ball around. And even the George Mikan, the great, misses in this tough league. 4 Nationals are in position to rebound, but Neal came down with the ball. Now it's the Nats' turn to set up a play. Syracuse finished third in the Eastern Division of the NBA behind New York and Boston. The Nats have had little trouble in the playoffs, whipping New York 2 straight games and beating Red Auerbach's Boston Celtics 3 straight. Here's Neal loose again, and it's another Syracuse basket. The Nationals lead 6-2. Down by 4 points, Minnesota's Whitey Scoot, playing for Minneapolis, comes right back. Scoot hits on a one-hander. George King, number 3, takes the ball out of bounds. The ex-college scoring champion from Morris Harvey passes to his running mate, Paul Seymour, number 5. And the Nats move the ball into the front court. Notice how the Syracuse team is banged up, if you will. The Nats came down the stretch, taking game after game, but suffering bump after bump. It seems almost impossible for some of the Nats to play basketball, but play they did, forcing the fabulous Lakers, the greatest basketball team of all time, to the limit of their ability. Watch the Lakers uncork one of their favorite plays this time. Slater Martin, the smallest man in pro basketball at 5'10", picks up a perfect pass from Mikan, and at the Minneapolis basket. This year, as always, the National Basketball Association is divided into 2 divisions. The Eastern Division is composed of Syracuse here, New York Knickerbockers, Boston Celtics, Philadelphia Warriors, and Baltimore Bullets. The Western Division is made up of the famed Lakers, Rochester Royals, Fort Wayne Pistons, and Milwaukee Hawks. The fabulous Lakers, whom you're watching right now, have been compared to the greatest sports teams of all time, such as the Yankees and Knute Rockne's terrific Notre Dame football machines of the 20s. When Laker president Ben Berger and company went into the basketball business, all they received in return for their cash investment were 15 dirty and worn-out uniforms from the defunct Detroit Gems of the National Basketball League. The first big name signed by the Minneapolis group was Jimmy Pollard, the Flash of the Amateur League, playing for the Oakland Vintners. After Pollard came 2 homegrown products in Don Carlson and Tony Jarris. Jack DeWan was picked up from Loyola University of Chicago. But the biggest break of all came when the All-American Basketball League blew up. George Mikan was drafted by the Lakers. Mikan, the highest-paid player in basketball, immediately became the greatest drawing card in the history of the game. Laker coach Johnny Kundla, himself an all-conference player in his collegiate days at Minnesota, built his attack around the great Mikan. It was Mikan, the money player, who played with a broken arm in the World Series of 1949 against the Washington Capitals. And it was Mikan who became the greatest scoring machine in the history of the pro game. The league tried its best to halt Mikan and Minneapolis, installing the 12-foot wide lane instead of the usual 6-foot lane. This move was directed at George Mikan. It probably is the first time any league has discriminated against a player. The 12-foot lane slowed Mikan down a bit, but Coach Kundla, being a master at basketball, built a fast-moving, quick-shooting machine that wasn't to be halted. Other changes in the pro game is limiting the offensive team to 24 seconds of possession with the basketball. If that offensive team does not try a shot in that space of time, it loses possession of the ball. The much-discussed zone defense has been outlawed by the pros. The zone defense, used mostly by Hank Iba at Oklahoma A&M and Ozzie Cowles of Minnesota, has been the object of many an attack. The pros believe that the paying customer would rather see a fast-moving, high-scoring game than a defensive battle between possession teams. Thus, the NBA outlawed the zone defense. 6 fouls are allowed per man in the NBA. 12-minute quarters are played in league games, with overtime periods, if needed, being 5 minutes long. During the last 2 minutes of a regulation time, there shall be a jump ball after every successful free throw, or in the case of 2 free throws, after the second free throw is made. League President Morris Podoloff was recently elected to a new long-term contract. Only the best of the college graduates makes the National Basketball Association. The NBA is tough to break into, and it's a truly great player who makes the grade. Of the more than 15 million men and boys playing the game in the United States, only 90 move into the pay-for-play game. Take the Lakers, for example. On this team you're watching right now, only Clyde Lovellette, the All-American of Kansas University, has made the jump into the pro game, and Lovellette is the second-string center. The champs have gone along with their front line of George Mikan, Vern Mickelson, and Jim Pollard for the last 4 years. The Lakers' 3 guards, Slater Martin, Pep Saul, and Whitey Skoog, have been around for 3 or more years. With the player limit being 10 men per club, perhaps you see how hard it is for a rookie to break into the NBA.
How about that call of the game? Not a lot.
The Nats used a pressing defense, resulting in many a bad pass for the Lakers. Here, the Eastern Division champs score on Bill Kenbo's long shot is 10-6 Syracuse. Whitey Skoog sparked the Lakers in the first half by shooting on 6, and it's 10-8 Syracuse. Jim Neal comes right back for the Nats, hitting another beauty, and the Syracuse club leads 12-8. Just about time we hear from Mr. Basketball, George Mikan. Watch Big George tip in Vern Mickelson's shot, and the Lakers pull up within a 2-point deficit. Bob LeBoy, the ex-Western Kentucky star, hits in a one-hander, and Syracuse leads by 4 points. Here's a beauty. Paul Seymour, number 5, fakes Skoog out of position for a spinning layup. Plenty of English in that ball, huh? Skoog, playing his greatest game of his professional career, keeps the champs in the game with his deadly shooting. Nice going, Whitey. Had eyes on it. Now the Lakers start to roll. Watch Vern Mickelson score on his favorite shot. You see him right side the key there. Number 8, Osterkorn guarding him, but without any particular proof. Well, the boy is hot as a pistol. Hits another one-hander for Syracuse as the 2 teams trade baskets. Here's one of the greatest plays in basketball. George Mikan forces his way through the center, spins and shoots, and is fouled by Paul Seymour. Notice Mikan's form as the ex-All-American from DePaul dips, flips, and it goes through the hoop. Here's Bill Kendall again. This time he's got position on Dick Schnicker and lays it up for an easy bucket. Kendall was fouled by Schnicker in the act of shooting, and it's good. Clyde Lovellette, the all-time great from Kansas University, is in the lineup now for Minneapolis. Here's Lovellette scoring on a follow-up shot. Here's a fast break performed as it should be. Skoog steals the ball, passes to Mikan, to Skoog, to Schnittker, and it's a field goal. It's LeBoy again. He's found his favorite spot. There he is, number 16. Bingo, it's another Syracuse hoop. Lakers ball. Martin passes to Lovellette, and it's the automatic basket as Clyde wheels around for a 2-pointer. Here's a coaching nightmare, trying to figure a defense for a double pivot made up of Mikan, 6'10", and 240 pounds, and Lovellette, 6'9", 235 pounds. Mikan misses, but Lovellette follows it up. The pros are more famous for their offensive exploits, but they play it rough and tough on defense. Here you see the Syracuse team in position with the basketball, looking for that one good shot. Take a look at the Laker defense. It seems impregnable. Johnny Kundla, the Laker coach, takes pride in the fact that the Lakers are the least scored-upon team in the pro game. Notice how the men in white from Minneapolis literally dogged the Syracuse Nationals to have that ball, permitting no opening. Earl Lloyd is in there now for Syracuse, broken hand and all. Lloyd smashed his paw in that tough Boston series. Lloyd's going to fake over his head, get Lovellette out of position for a split second, then drive around toward the basket. The shot is no good, and Jim Pollard from Oakland, California, rebounds for the Lakers. Skoog has it now.